Overcoming Mom Guilt with God's Grace. Hi, moms. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amy Crowe, and I'm so glad you're here. We're going to talk a little bit today about overcoming mom guilt and what that means with us and how God's grace can help us through that and maybe take away some of that guilt that you're feeling that you shouldn't be. Have you ever felt the weight of the mom guilt? If you have, you're not alone. Maybe you've wondered, am I doing enough? Am I messing up my kids? I've been there too. But today, I just want to remind you of something very powerful. God's grace is enough, and it's greater than our guilt. So let's talk about how to let go of guilt and step into His grace. As moms, I know for me, I put so much pressure on myself. We see the Pinterest perfect meals. You see the spotless homes on Instagram, and we feel like we're falling short. Maybe you lost your patience today, or maybe you just feel guilty because you don't feel like you spend enough time with your kids. Here's the truth. God never called us to be perfect moms. He called us to be faithful ones. We put that guilt on ourselves. We compare and we see things that are not always the whole truth. And then we're comparing ourselves to something that's not even a reality. And it can cause a lot of guilt and a lot of stress where it doesn't need to. I'd like to share a scripture with you today that hopefully will help you with this. And it's one of my favorite verses when I'm just feeling weighted down. It's 2 Corinthians 12:9. And it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Isn't that free just to know that God's grace fills us in? He fills in all the gaps where we fall short. And all of us are going to fall short because we aren't perfect. And we are going to make mistakes, and we are going to get stressed out and maybe lose our temper, or maybe not necessarily get preoccupied, but maybe just be so busy that maybe we don't feel like we're spending enough time with our children. When that happens and that mom guilt starts creeping in, just bring this verse to mind. Memorize it, keep it on your heart, because I guarantee you it will lift you up and encourage you when you need it and when you're down and when you're feeling that mom guilt. So how can we overcome? How can we as moms overcome the mom guilt that all of us have? If you don't, please let me know in the comments how you're handling that, because I would love to know. So number one, shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on where you think you've failed, focus on where God's grace is at work, because it is. Ask yourself, what did I do right today? And I know that sounds maybe so simple, but sometimes when we can focus on what we did do right, and if it has to be a little thing, let it be a little thing, because the little things add up and they matter. What did you do right today? I got my kids up. I got them ready for school. I got them to school. If you work inside the home, then what have you done? I loaded the dishwasher. I got stuff out of the sink. I took time for myself to have my quiet time. If you're at work, then you got yourself to work. You got dressed. You got everybody ready. You got yourself ready. Whatever you can do to make yourself know that you have done something right today. Just focus on the good things. Focus on that. Don't focus on what you feel like you did wrong or where you didn't measure up, because God doesn't want you to focus on that either. All right, number 2, stop the comparison trap. That's something that I really struggle with, and I'm speaking to myself on this one. Social media does not show the full picture. We are all guilty of scrolling on social media. You almost do it subconsciously, and you're looking and you're taking everything in, but you're not seeing the full picture. You're only seeing what people want you to see. So don't compare to their picture perfect and what they wanted you to see to your reality, because you don't know what their reality is. And their reality could be far worse than your reality. Just keep that in mind as you're going through and as you're feeling this guilt. Don't feel it because you're comparing yourself to someone else who you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes in their families. You are the exact mom that your child needs, and you were chosen by God for them. Okay, number 3, apologize and move forward. So this is important because a lot of times we'll have a situation where we'll lose our patience and we'll apologize, and then we'll still feel bad for what we said or what we did. And you have to just be able to apologize, learn from it, and then just let it go. You're teaching your child a great thing when you apologize, because you are admitting that you made a mistake. And it's important for our children to see that we're not perfect and that we make mistakes too. So even when you apologize, you're strengthening your child by showing them, hey, it's okay. We mess up too. And this is what we do when we mess up. We say we're sorry. So you're still teaching your child even with an apology, but just apologize, learn, and then just let it go, because that guilt can creep in so easily and so fast. That guilt holds us back and we want to move forward, and that grace pushes us forward. So just don't let that guilt hold you back. Just apologize, let it go, learn from it, let your children learn from you apologizing, and then move on. Okay, pray through the guilt. Number 4, pray through the guilt. Instead of carrying it alone, we don't have to carry it alone. We've got God to help us. So instead of carrying it alone, hand it to God. Say, Lord, I feel like I failed today. Just be honest. Lord, I feel like I failed today. Please remind me that your grace is enough. It sounds like such a simple prayer, but wow, what an impact. You're humbling yourself before God. But not only that, you're asking him for his help and his grace. And that's exactly what he wants you to do. He wants you to ask for help, and he wants to provide that help. Sometimes he's just sitting there waiting on us to realize that, hey, we can't really do this alone. We can't do this by ourselves, and we do need him. We do need his help, and he wants to give it. So just talk to him and say, hey, I messed up today. I feel like I failed. Can you help me? Can you remind me that your grace is enough? Can you get me back on track? Can you just help me feel like I am a good mom and I am trying to do what's best for my children? Number 5, speak life over yourself. Replace the negativity that goes on inside your head, and we all do it. Replace the words, I'm a bad mom. Don't ever say that to yourself. Replace those words with, I'm a mom covered by God's grace. Doesn't that sound so much better? Doesn't that just make you feel like, okay, no matter what kind of mistakes I make today, no matter how much I think I mess up, I'm covered by God's grace. And it's very freeing. Not freeing in a sense that we need to just go purposely, okay, I can just do whatever, mess up, and then God's going to cover me. No. But we as moms need to give ourselves some grace. We need to say, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm struggling here, and I need God's grace. So Lord, I am a mom and I'm covered by God's grace. So just remember that and say that to yourselves, okay? If you're feeling guilty today, I just want you to hear this. God's grace is greater than your worst mom moment, and you are doing better than you think. Your love, your prayers, your presence matter more than any perfect plan. So today, let's just choose grace over guilt. If this has encouraged you today, and I hope that it has, I encourage you to hit the subscribe so we can reach more moms and we can continue to provide positive reinforcement as moms and lift each other up together and encourage each other. So let me know in the comments if there's an area that you're learning to give yourself grace in. I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to just let us encourage each other today. I hope you have an awesome day, and if you haven't heard this today, you're doing a great job.